Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today let's talk about the aftermath of Hot Rod Drag Week. The aftermath is everything that went wrong or everything that needs to get fixed, and what I need to do to see what we can do to make this thing a little quicker. So I'm overall really happy how the event went. 12.2 personal best. I definitely want to try to get this in the 11s as it is. So I may go through and try to lighten up this thing a little bit. I know I need to do some more tuning. I have a few more things I can do with the distributor, maybe try some different weights. Maybe try to tweak the carburetor a little bit more, play with the timing a little bit more. I'm running full exhaust. I think I'm going to drop the exhaust and then run a 3-inch. I go from a 3-inch collector to a 2.5-inch exhaust, and then out some pipes mufflers. So I'm going to drop the exhaust out and then run an extension, a 3-inch extension off the header collector. So it'll be basically straight piped, no restriction. See if we can pick up a little bit there. Take a little weight out of the car. I may, for next year, just for drag week only, pull like the back seat out, pull the door panels out, things like that. Maybe pull some of the carpet out, see if we can pull the radio out, see if we can pull another, by dropping the exhaust and some of those other things, maybe we can get another, 7,500 pounds out of the car. And with the exhaust changes and maybe some tuning tweaks, see if we can sneak this into the 11s. But just to give you a few statistics of also Hot Rod Drag, and then I'll show you some of the things I want to fix. So 341 started drag week, 287 finished, and by that, did all 5 days. The average ET for the 287 that finished was 1147. The average speed was 121.96. So if you want to be in the SME class this year, you actually could be slow and gotten in. It only took an 11:15 to get in. Normally you had to be all 10s to get into SME top 32. So it was actually a slow field this year. Out of the 287, I finished 195th overall with my 12.2 average. And out of the 102 SME cars, I ended up finishing 49th out of the 102. So I finished in the top half at least. So I want to, like I said, my goal for 2021 is to get into the 11s for, all 5 days. Yeah, granted, I could throw a little shot of nitrous on this or, do something else. But, I'm going to run this one normally aspirated for one more year and just try to get it in the 11s, and then I'll go from there. I've got potentially a new build coming, different car, new build. So that will be, a little time in the taking. So that's why I don't want to really spend a whole lot more money on this one. I want to keep this one running, driving, and fun, and while I build the other one. So a little more on that when we get there. Some things that I need to fix. Tuning, need to fix that. I have the car up right now because I have a small transmission leak and a small oil leak. I think it might be the oil pan on the engine, so I'm not looking forward to possibly having to pull the engine out to put a new pan gasket in. I'm using the quart gasket. I should have switched over to the newer style Magnum gasket. Probably would save me a lot of headaches. The other problem, driver's side upper ball joint, the boot is torn. I need to actually set this car back down and make sure the ball joint itself is okay. So I'm going to have to pull the front suspension apart and put a new boot on if it's just the dust boot that's torn. So we got the leaks. Oh, the fuel tank issue. So I'm going to have to drop the fuel tank and drain it again because, crap was getting into the fuel system. So I'm going to change the fuel system up again, come up with some better filters. The filter I had in the back is supposed to have been a 4-micron filter. And then I've got 40 micron up here at the carburetor. That should have been plenty. So I may have to change it up and come up with a smaller micron filter for up here at the carburetor, and then maybe do a couple more filters in this system to keep it from getting crap in there. Like I said, I'm gonna have to drop the tank and figure out what's going on with that. So I got to fix that. High beam headlights broke. And I'll show you here what happened. Basically, a wire pulled out of the connector is what happened. So it vibrated loose, pulled out of the pin. So I probably didn't have a very good crimp on that. Got to fix that. Make that a little more robust. Transmission cooler. I might go ahead and put a cooling fan on the front of the transmission cooler. Only in Chicago traffic did I have a problem. It got up to close to 200 for temps sitting and idling. So I kicked over the high-speed cooling fans. The engine stayed cool at 190 when I kicked over to high-speed fan, and the trans temp got up to like 200. Kind of stayed there. I was getting a little concerned. Long term, it's getting too warm, but 200 is not bad. So I'm thinking I might go ahead and wire up a little like 5-inch cooling fan for the transmission cooler, just in case. We'll see. What else needs to be fixed? Oh, I need to fix the shifter bezel because it was freaking buzzing and driving me insane inside the car. So the little B&M cover, whoops, where's my hand? B&M cover there was buzzing and rattling like hell. I mean, it drove me insane. So I need to fix that. Otherwise, those were really the major concerns. Oh, a sun visor, some sort of a sun visor on the driver's side, because with the the big, I have the roll cage that goes all the way to front, right? The front bars. Basically, I can't put the sun visor back in, so I may need to fashion something up here where I can flip something there or clip something in place when driving into the sun. That would definitely help. What else? I think I had a couple other notes, but those were the big things I think I really need to work on for the car. I think that's really the big stuff. I can't think of too much else that really went wrong. The car for this year, for 2021, after doing 2 other events, I think I got a lot of the stuff, the kinks and bugs worked out. I'm pretty happy that the car was pretty trouble-free other than the fuel system issue. Everything else I could have dealt with. So let me go ahead and I did cut open the fuel filter just to take a look and see, and the fuel filter actually was fine. This is the fuel filter I'm running here, this style. You can get these at any auto parts store, for $10. They're not serviceable in any way, but basically these are like hot glued in on the end. So this is the outlet side. So it's hot glued in. This is supposed to be a 4-micron filter. And every time I would change it, it would be good for a couple days, and then it would start to hiccup again, allow material to pass through. So, I'm honestly not sure if there's anything in the tank. I don't know if the fuel pump is having an issue. So I'm debating about, do I need to, plumb something coming out of the fuel pump, in between the fuel pump and the regulator, before going into the carburetor, and then having something still up here at the carburetor as well as something in the tank, just to be, on the safe side. So, I may run a couple of different, maybe run 2 or 3 different filters in this car just to make sure I don't have any problems. But I am still going to drop the tank to make sure I don't have a problem. And here, I'll crawl into the car in a second. I'll show you a picture of the ball joint being torn. Like I said, I need to set it back down, and I need to, check it to make sure it's not bad. It's just a bad boot. These are you can buy replacement boots for these things. Speedway Racing has them. They're like $20 for 4 of them. I think I've got some good ones, or not the screw-on style, but some that I could stick on there. I may try it to see if one of those will work. They're the polyurethane style ones, from like Energy Suspensions. So I may try one of those and see if that works. So let me flip the camera around, and I'll just kind of show you, the ball joint torn and the headlamp issue, and I'll show you my transmission cooler, how I do it, and then why I'm talking about putting a fan on it. And those are really the big things, that I've got going on to make it a little better. If you have not yet subscribed, please take just a moment and do so. For my subscribers that are watching the videos, thank you very much for all your support. Now, on to the rest of the video. Well, I was able to add A few more stickers to my all the tracks that I visited. Up here is Onondaga, where I did my testing. Obviously, Lucas Oil Raceway, US 131, Byron, and Norwalk. So I was able to add all those stickers for the drag week. And then also another sticker from Molly about being able to complete drag week again. So, you know, this is, I'm starting to create this aluminum sheet here with all the tracks that I've had an opportunity to at least make one pass at, you know, and hopefully we'll keep expanding on this. So here's the transmission cooler, and you can see, right, it sits right here behind the grill in front of the radiator. This was an eBay one that I purchased, and you know, I basically went from, I think this is a 10 down to a 6. It might be a 12 to a 6, I don't remember. But 12, you know, big and fitting down to a 6 here. You can see it's nice and thick. It's well over an inch thick. It's what, about 7 inches wide or so, 8 inches wide. You know, so it's pretty nice unit, actually. It's done a really nice job keeping the transmission cool. Pulling the trailer, transmission temps were only 150 degrees. Actually just under 150 degrees. You know, when I'm driving without the trailer, it's only running like 125. So this really did a good job. So you can see here, you know, there should be 2 wires coming out of this. Basically, one of the wires pulled out. Right here it is, the wire that pulled out. So what I did is I jury rigged. I actually broke these wires by accident, but I jury rigged my high beam on with a fuse so I could drive home. Because otherwise, you know, trying to drive on low beam, it's super dark. You can hardly even see. So I rigged these up the night I came back from the last day of drag week. So I pulled these out of the relays by accident. Dumbass me. So I got to fix that too. So that was my fault. But yeah, I got to recrimp all these pins and get some better pins for these. The pins I got were not very good, so I need to find some good OE, you know, Delphi pins. And then you notice here's the boot. And the weird thing was, you know, I checked all the suspension and greased everything before I left for drag week, and everything was fine. So you can see the boot is definitely torn here. You know, she is definitely ripped, and you can see, you know, there's the metal. So the boot definitely got damaged here. So I gotta remove that and fix it. The other side is fine. So I want to double check the ball joint and make sure it's good. Just to double check it, and then I'll re-grease everything again. Go from there. So that's, unfortunately, I got to tear this apart and fix that. So if you notice under here, here's my exhaust, and here's where basically I went from a 3-inch collector down to 2.5 inch. I had a bunch of 2.5 inch pipe and mufflers lying around, so that's what I went ahead and used. Hindsight, I would definitely do 3-inch, but so what I'm going to do is, if you notice, I had to do a bend here. Okay, I took a 245s, bent them, put a little piece in the middle to extend it, because you can see here there's the hump, and then I can run the exhaust basically back to the car. So, and I did a V-band style clamp here, and I'm really glad I did, because this really makes it easy to take it on and off. And then there's only a couple of fasteners at the back that hold the muffler up. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using this 2.5 inch, I'm going to get another set of V-bands for a 3-inch. I've got one already. I'm going to get some 3-inch pipe, and basically I'm going to run it downward because, you know, otherwise if I tried to run it straight back, it would hit, you know, the cross member here. So what I'm going to do is basically take it, weld it so it angles downward underneath this, straight out, and not have to worry about the bend. So it'll be real quick and easy. It'll only take like 10 minutes to probably take the exhaust off and put these on. So it'll be real fast at the track to do, and it won't take too much more to put the exhaust back on. Once I put it in the hanger in the back there, I know it's probably not the easiest to see. Basically, there's just 2 bolts on a hanger back there. Never had those ever come loose. They've really done well. I'll probably start to double nut them though, just to be on the safe side. And then it's just the V-band up front that holds it on. So what I'll do is I'll weld a 18-inch piece of straight 3-inch to that, to a V-band, the other V-band connector, or the, whatever you sandwich in there, to hold it in place, run it straight down at a slight angle, so that way I don't have to worry about this. So for about for about 25 bucks, I'll do that. And then that should hopefully free up a few horsepowers, and see if it'll help us get into the 11s. And then by removing exhaust, it'll remove about 40 pounds of exhaust weight as well. So that kind of sums up the aftermath of drag week. Just really a lot of maintenance stuff. This year, I don't have any engines to overhaul. I don't have any transmissions to overhaul for a change. I just need to address a few leaks. Unfortunately, I really don't want to pull this engine. If I don't have to, I'm going to see if I can lift up the engine high enough by pulling the distributor out, lift it up out of the way, and see if I can get the oil pan out and maybe the new pan gasket in. That's what I really am going to try to do. So I'll probably pull the distributor out of the way, pull the carburetor and stuff out of the way, so I can try to lift the engine up, drop the oil pan. Hopefully we can get it out of there, and then get the new oil pan in place, in the car. That would be kind of nice. So I don't have to pull the hood off and everything else. So we're real close, guys. Wrapping really pretty good year overall. I gotta fix the baffling too, by the way. Whoops, fix the baffling too on the valve covers. Yeah, valve covers, those things. I got to fix the baffling on that. So what happened is I was originally running my, where are they? LA valve covers here. And they leaked real bad oil. So I went to the junkyard, got a set of Magnum valve covers, put them on. No leaks, thank gosh. But what happened is, because of the roller rockers that I run, they were hitting the baffling up top. So I had to smash them down, which I'm wondering if that's what caused some problems with the oil pan, because I never had a leak from the oil pan before. So on that side, on the passenger side, I removed all the baffling. On the driver's side, it's still here. The problem is with the passenger side is I've got a little scrunchy there because there's nothing there to prevent the oil from coming up to the breather area. So I need to remove the valve covers and create something like on the LA ones over here for a breather issue. Yeah, you see this little shield? I need to create like a little shield there, for the breather, so it doesn't splash up and go all over the place and create a leak that way. So that's the other thing I gotta fix. So I think that's everything. Anyway, guys, that's kind of the aftermath of drag week. Other than having to clean the front end up of all the bugs, which I did just the other day. This thing was packed full of bugs from those late night drives, and just kind of fixing a few little things. Overall, the car did really well. I was really happy with it. So that's kind of what we got to do to make it a little bit better, and see if we can get a few more ponies and lighten it up just a little bit more, and see if we can get into the 11s all next year. So anyway, guys, take care. Talk to y'all on the next upload.